My in-laws let my children be bullied every Christmas and call me a gold digger. Now I am done having losers in my life and refusing to spend Christmas with them. We have 2 children and my sister-in-law has 2 children. And every time we visit, they hurt my children in one way or another. Both physical and emotional bullying. My daughter now has a permanent scar on her cheek right below her eye because one of the boys scratched her face very badly. Shoving, locking in closets and turning off the lights. Calling my children ugly. Making fun of their hair. Threatening to beat my boy. My husband gets upset and tries to tell the children off. My in-laws pretend that they will do something. Boys will be boys. This time I told my husband that I didn't want to spend Christmas with his family. He got upset because he didn't want to lose his family. He is close to his mom and sister since they lost their father when my husband was 10. Also, my mother-in-law favors sister-in-law's children and they get more and more expensive gifts. As long as my children were small I didn't care. Now they notice when their pile from granny is much smaller than their cousins. I asked once if they couldn't just try to exchange gifts before we arrived and then only have one gift each for each child in front of my children so they don't notice the favoritism, but my loser mother-in-law started yelling and calling me gold digger. Nobody involved has gold to dig. We are all hardworking people. He says if we start not attending big holidays etc. this will put a wedge, but I don't care. I don't want my babies to associate the holidays with negative feelings and being hurt. I don't even want to compromise, negotiate, or meet them halfway. Update. My husband chose to spend Christmas with his family. He called and told them that he was coming alone this Christmas and I heard his mother yelling over the phone telling him that I was the devil, ruining the family traditions. Anyway, it seemed like she didn't tell him not to come. My husband said that our children are too small to understand so we can pretend Christmas is when he gets home on the 27th. He drove, yesterday, 8 hours, but when he arrived, nobody was there so he got worried and called them a number of times but nobody answered. He called me freaking out so I told him to text his mom that he was going to call the police to make a wellness check. Only then did the loser call him back telling him that they had booked an apartment on a skiing resort and had gone earlier that day and then they were spending the holiday skiing. I think she thought he wouldn't just drive home like he did. I don't know, maybe he would apologize or try to have them come back or go after them? They didn't tell him they had already made plans and left. What a bunch of loser psychos. I felt so sorry for him because he was so hurt. He got home early this morning and he tried to fight with me and put the blame on me because I refused to let my children celebrate with their family. I stopped him right there telling him that I wasn't the one ghosting him and that if he wanted any chance to have a happy family, this was his. People had shown him what they were and the lengths they could go to hurt and humiliate others when slighted. I have had a wonderful weekend. However, the children were happily surprised by Dad's presence and we had a Christmas lunch with my closest friend and her youngsters. Now we are making pizza, because I thought Christmas was gonna be on the 27th and didn't prepare. Now I think the in-laws have come to the realization that they had gone too far because they have been calling and texting my husband all evening. I even heard his loser mom crying. I made it clear they were not welcome here. If they think they can come and apologize to my husband for making him drive to an empty house, and I made it even clearer that I will never have them in my or my children's life. He hasn't apologized, no, but to be fair I told him that I refuse to ruin my day in any discussion or talk and that he should really think before opening his mouth with me because whatever he says and decides next is going to decide our future together, so he agreed to give us a break. I will start my own Christmas tradition for my little family and it will not be 2 days after. I told him that I wanted this clear so he can make his choices and how to proceed with his life and who he thinks are more important to him. I am done having losers in my life. Merry Christmas.